This episode of Access to the Arts has been made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations in Wayne County to serve you. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together. Hi, I'm Eric. Thanks for joining me on this month's Access to the Arts. Later in the show, I'll have a conversation with Joe Lapone from Earlham College and an artist spotlight from Melinda Wilson. Welcome to Access to the Arts. Thanks for watching this Access to the Arts. We're having a chance to spend some time with John Cook from Civic Hall Performing Arts Center. John, you've just come off a really great show. You're coming near the end of your season, and you're presenting something, again, your last couple of shows, very family-friendly, Artrageous.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Talk about that show.
Artrageous is, it's been... there have been, descriptions of it's like Blue Man Group meets Picasso. If you know who Blue Man Group is.
Oh, definitely. It's a messy show.
Yeah, and they're very unique in what they do as a musical organization. So this production has a group of people that sing, another group that dance, and then another group within the cast that are painters, and they actually are painting as the production is going on. And it's live painting. It's not like it's colored by numbers or anything. They're creating, and they're large canvases that are on the stage. And through this production, they're bringing people out of the audience up onto the stage to do stuff with them, whether it's dancing or they have like light activities where they give them things that are like spinning lights, and so that the audience is involved. I think it's a very unique concept because you're adding the visual arts with the performing arts, which doesn't normally happen. So I think it's very unique in that way, and I think it's really interesting for students or kids because of everything that we do now is based on a shorter attention span. So like they're used to more immediate gratification kinds of things. Mm-hmm. This is very similar to that, only it's happening in live or real time. And we're also bringing a little bit of an element where the Richmond Art Museum is going to be partnering with us. They're going to bring in, during the day, they're going to bring in some folks, and they're going to actually do some art classes down at the RAM, which is at the other end of our building, our facility. They're going to do some painting, and then we're going to bring their artwork into the lobby of Civic Hall in the evening, present that for folks to look at as they're coming in, and then they're going to be in the audience as well to be then a part of the performance.
Last time we had a chance to talk, we talked about the fact that the audience has not completely come back, but that you've been trying some different things, particularly these family-friendly shows. Church Basement Ladies, a lot of fun. Next month, Alan Harris presents Cross That River. You're working with Levi and Catherine Coffin House in order to bring that in. You're working with Ram on this one, and both of those shows, in particular, these last 2 shows of the year, really family-friendly. Is that something you see Civic Hall maybe going to more to kind of bring in some of that younger audience, get them used to being in that live setting?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the approach we're trying to take, is to see if we can bring a family in, plus that'll bring some of our younger parents, because obviously they've got younger kids, and then they might be interested in some of the other productions or events that we're going to have in our series. So next season, we're already talking about the next season. We're looking at doing some of the similar family-oriented shows as well
Right.
that would bring in families, and we're hoping too then that's going to inspire them to look at our other shows that we have available during that season. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing.
If people are interested in information about Civic Hall, about your shows, how do they connect with you all?
Multiple ways you can contact us. You can go to our website. Our website we're pretty happy with, and I think it's pretty user-friendly. www.civichall.com, all lowercase. You can find the shows that we have. It also shows our kids shows, programming that we do that normally happens during the school day, or during the school day hours. So they're in there. You can see those shows that are available. You can also call us at 765-973-3350. We're on Facebook. You can just search Civic Hall on Facebook, and we've got a page, and we keep that as current as the web page, and we try to put things in there every week for sure about just reminding you of the shows that are coming up. We're also on Twitter. We don't have quite as big a following on Twitter, but we're also on Twitter.
I'm not sure anybody has as big a following on X anymore
right,
as they used to have on
right.
Twitter.
Yeah, but you can also find us by calling, or you can look on the Richmond High School or the Richmond Community Schools website. They've got a link in there. So like if you're from the Richmond area and you have kids that go to school in Richmond Community Schools, there's a link in there for us. You can find the arts at the bottom of the page, I think on the main page. Go down, scroll to the bottom, and it says arts, click on it, and there we pop up, and you can see Civic Hall, and then there's a link to go to our web page and all that kind of thing.
And you're really heading into the spring where a number of other schools do use your facility for various things.
Yeah.
A lot of different types of programming coming in. So it's not like the students are completely unfamiliar with Civic Hall, just some of the shows that you're bringing in. So that's great to expose them and their parents to that particular facility, because it's incredibly nice.
It is. It's a really nice facility. We're lucky. We bring in all kinds of guests. Obviously, we have traveling shows, and we get rave reviews for our technical abilities. Plus, we have really good staff. They've been doing it a long time, and we can do anything that any event, any other venue that's around the Midwest does. We have new technology as far as lighting technology, sound technology, and anything that we don't have, we rent to bring in to meet the accommodations or the expectations of a performing group. So we're not afraid to do that kind of thing too and tie it into our system.
2 more shows that you can get involved with. Civic Hall Performing Arts Center, before their proudly presenting season ends. Check out civichall.com for more information. John Cook, always good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me on.
Melinda Wilson has an artist spotlight coming up on Access to the Arts.
Hello and welcome to Artist Spotlight. I'm Melinda Wilson, and I'm here with our special guest, Ray Armstrong. Good to have you here with us today, Ray.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I have had the pleasure of knowing you for a few years, and I would just like to know what inspired you to get into the artwork world.
Well, I was an art major in high school, but I didn't do anything with it. And then when I retired, I met Dan Woodson, and he encouraged me to get back at it.
Okay.
So he and I painted together for about 3 days, and he refreshed me on the basics and taught me about oil painting.
And so how many years from when you started and got your art major till you started picking it up again?
50 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So there's life after 50 years, right?
It turns out, yeah.
Exactly. So what mediums do you like to work with?
I've been working in oil.
Okay.
And a good friend, David Dale, also an artist, has encouraged me to try pastels. So I started pastels.
Just here recently?
Just recently.
Okay, and just to share with our viewers, you're how old now?
I'm 87.
A very young 87 and starting a new medium.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So what type of subjects do you enjoy painting?
I enjoy painting landscapes
Landscapes?
most. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that by knowing you, that you just can imagine yourself in that location at the time that you're even painting them.
Yes, yes, it's exciting to see new scenes that I think I have to paint.
Exactly. Now, you do have another medium that you do an excellent job at. Would you like to share that with us?
A few years ago, my daughter gave me a loom for Christmas, and I started making table runners and scarves, and I enjoy weaving so much, so I made several of those.
And I have seen the very fine weaving that you do. I mean, it's totally exquisite.
So much depends on the yarn. I find you can't get a good product with cheap yarn.
Exactly, exactly. And isn't it true that your daughter owns a shop in Noblesville?
She owns the yarn shop in Zionsville.
Zionsville, okay.
Yeah, on the main street there.
Okay, so you have a good source then.
You bet, yeah.
That always helps out.
I can't visit without buying yarn.
Exactly. And even with it being weaving, which is a total different medium than your painting, you have to have that good eye for color for the combination.
I've seen some wonderful scarves that I copied. I have to admit, they weren't original, but they make beautiful scarves.
Right.
Ply here in town
Sure.
does some good work and has some beautiful yarn, so I don't always have to go to Zionsville to get it.
Exactly, yes. John and Sam have a wonderful place there.
They do.
They really do. So do you ever get creative block? And when you do, how do you overcome that?
The oddest thing to me is that during the pandemic, I went 3 years without painting or weaving.
Isn't that something?
And recently finished a painting,
Oh, good.
Eagle Creek at Zionsville.
Oh, sure.
And then my good friend David Dale, who's also an artist, builds his own frames. So he built a frame for my painting.
Okay.
And I'm very pleased with that.
Now, have you started picking up the weaving again as well?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. You still have a few more months to think about it before the 4 years passes again, right?
The problem is I have too many interests.
Exactly.
I've got a lot of books going at once. And
Right, right. Well, it's amazing how you're using your talents.
it's encouraging to still be able to do it at 87.
Sure, sure. And you do an excellent job, I must say so myself.
Thank you. My determination is to live to be 100 and still be painting.
And I can see that happening. You've got that personality for it in the drive, and that's a big thing. And then you've got the Lord on your side, right?
And I'm encouraged a lot by my wife and friends.
Yes, yes.
My children, bless their hearts, hang my paintings in their houses, so
Oh, sure.
I guess I have a public venue.
You do.
Yeah.
Now, do you have that one piece that you would like to do that you would classify as on your bucket list?
I have never painted en plein air.
Oh, okay.
And I've thought I would love to take my easel outdoors. Sometime when the mosquitoes aren't bad and the poison ivy is distant, and paint something, as it is without a photograph.
That sounds wonderful.
And I think I might do that yet this year.
And RAM actually has a plein air event that they put together, so
That's
maybe
true.
that's something that you can get in, and I'm sure you'll connect with some artists and be able to fulfill that.
They have a good program going.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today, Ray.
Well, it's a pleasure. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And we want to thank all of you for joining us on Artist Spotlight. Look forward to seeing you again.
A spark, an invitation into the world of the unknown. It moves us to change, to grow. It asks us to dream bigger. An idea is better shared. It ignites us, and we make each other bright. We can do great things together.
Hi, I'm Monica Koschlein, Executive Director of your Richmond Symphony Orchestra. It is an honor for the RSO to be an integral part of the arts makeup of Richmond and enhance the quality of life of the region. The RSO has been fortunate to exist in a community that has been generous in supporting our efforts for 65 consecutive seasons. Through the pandemic, we have continued to expand our programming. The RSO thanks you for your continued patronage and support.
Welcome back to Access to the Arts. I'm Eric. We're having another chance this year to spend some time on the lawn at Richmond High School for Pottery Palooza, the annual event put on by the Richmond Art Museum. And we're having a chance to speak with Mr. Eugene Boyd. Sir, appreciate the time.
Glad to be here.
Talk to me about how you got started in pottery. Everybody comes to it at a different point in their life. What was yours?
The point of mine was when I retired. I was like looking for something to do. I think about a year or so prior to that, I brought a bass guitar. Started practicing with that. Thought I was really interested in that. It kind of got kicked to the wayside, and I took a pottery class. And not really thinking that I would be obsessed with it, but it just grabbed me. I've been with this 2011, and I've been playing around in ceramics, and not just playing. I mean, I'm pretty serious about it. Mm-hmm. I say playing. The reason I say playing is because I have fun, you know, and so that's the playing part. But as far as the effort to get better and to perfect it, mm-hmm. It's very, very, very serious.
Talk a little bit about that first thought for you, taking something that people, you know, they're wiping it off and turning it into...
Okay, well, like I was sharing with you earlier today, I mean, back when I was younger, since the 80s, I always have planned on doing a wood shop. I love wood. I love working with wood.
Yeah.
And one thing I really can't get in my mind, I don't understand how I transferred wood into mud. And I mean, you know, desire to work with wood into desire to build things out of mud. And so I kind of trying to figure it out in my own little mind, and I said, come to the conclusion, I look at a tree, and I say, man, they don't need no help. You know, it's already look good, you know what I'm saying? Good. And I look at wood grains. I said, oh my God, it even gets better with wood grain. I mean, you know, and then you make something out of that beautiful piece of wood. I mean, it didn't really need your help. Mm-hmm. But you take clay, for instance. Without man or woman, clay is really pretty much worthless. You know, it has no beauty to offer. When I'm saying worthless, it has no beauty to offer us. I mean, at least I haven't found none in its raw form. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm saying when you take the human hand and then you look at what clay becomes. I mean, from where it was to where it ends up versus that tree, it's in the world all on its own. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the tree, like I said, it's beautiful, but it started out with beauty.
True.
You know, the clay is worse than the ugly duckling on its own.
As you started taking classes, how did you begin building what is now for you a business, Boyd's Pottery?
Well, kind of how it really went was, okay, I'm making stuff, getting things, I'm bringing things home. My wife is getting them, my kids is getting them, my family's getting them. And I accumulated a lot of pieces. And I was going to another place downtown. I was also taking classes, and then I was renting studio time at this place called Artists Within. And they had what they call First Thursdays, where all the artists in Delaware County and Muncie, they do artwork and they present their art, and it's art sales and so on. Every first Thursday of the month, they have it as it's a regular thing. So he said, we're having First Thursday, and you know, we're gonna have some pieces, you know. And I just kind of looked at him. I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, I want you to put your pieces up. And I'm like, huh? And I put my pieces up there, and you know, I had my little display, and I sold a few pieces. And I was just impressed that someone liked my pieces to purchase, to take a monetary, you know, and pay for it. And I was like, okay. And I look back at the pieces that were made then, how beginning stage they were, and they still got purchased. So I found out when it comes with the pottery, you know, every step of the way there's somebody that's going to appreciate something you do too. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's stuff that I'm still trying to get to, that I'm you know, would like to make things even more elaborate and more perfection and more beauty. But I'm saying where I'm at right now, I'm getting a lot of compliments and a lot of sales and everything. So I'm just saying, I'm just amazed with how many roads there are to go down in ceramics and find joy. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. And I just do just a small version. I mean, you know, there's all kinds of different other things
you can do. What you do is mostly functional, correct?
Functional, yeah. There's abstract. There's just different things that, people make that you can't use at all, that are just gorgeously beautiful. And there's things people make. And I mean, I don't even know the end of where pottery starts, where it stops. I don't have a clue.
You've reached the point where you've even gotten into helping teach some classes. Talk a little bit about
well, not
what
just
that is for
helping
you.
teach, I do teach my own.
You teach?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, and really, when you begin to see others and to see the things that they do, really, to me at least, I've seen myself too, because I think almost everybody do similar mistakes.
Okay.
Really, really, really similar. And it kind of helps you, when you help them, you're helping yourself, because you enhancing your techniques, because you said, okay, they're doing too much of that or not enough of this, or they need to do more of that. And in the process, at least with me anyway, I'm internally saying, okay, if you do more of that, then you can, you might be talking with them on a smaller scale, and you might be talking about on a bigger scale for yourself, but the same principles.
Have you enjoyed your time in this?
Oh my God, I can't even imagine how empty my life would be. I mean, TV or whatever time, trying to fill that void. That, I know I would find something, but I don't know what it would be to fill it like this has filled it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm completely content. I mean, really, I'm saying, I don't even hardly think about vacations and stuff. I think about making stuff.
Nice.
I'm just saying, it's crazy, really. It's crazy,
Boyd's Pottery on Facebook in Muncie. I'm glad you're having a good time. Glad you're here at Pottery Palooza.
Having a great time.
Appreciate the time.
All right. Nice talking to you.
You too.
All right.
Hi, I'm Monica Koschlein, Executive Director of your Richmond Symphony Orchestra. It is an honor for the RSO to be an integral part of the arts makeup of Richmond and enhance the quality of life of the region. The RSO has been fortunate to exist in a community that has been generous in supporting our efforts for 65 consecutive seasons. Through the pandemic, we have continued to expand our programming. The RSO thanks you for your continued patronage and support.
Welcome back to Access to the Arts. I have a chance to speak with someone that I have not had a chance to talk to for the last few years now, Joe Lapone from Earlham College. Joe, thanks for coming in and spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me back.
Glad to do it. We have not talked, obviously, since the pandemic. Your title at Earlham College has changed. Why don't you give us that update?
Yeah, so my title has changed from Director of Campus Events to the Senior Director for Student Engagement. So a two-pronged approach, campus events overall. So think about lecture series and guest speakers, and then now diving more deep into working with students more closely. So very excited about it.
So you get to do more work.
More work.
Okay. The time since we've had a chance to talk to you, obviously the pandemic has taken its toll on Earlham College being able to invite the community out for various events. Yeah. Talk real briefly about what that was like and how you all are getting back to things.
Yeah, I mean, it was very weird. COVID was very, weird, also stressful time in the college's history. From going to no events, and it was a lot of virtual opportunities, to now our doors are open and we're excited to have our community back. And so, yeah, it's been a whirlwind experience for me and the college as a whole, but we're ready to go back at it again.
You all have always invited the community in for various speaker events, concerts, things of that nature. It was strange, I'm sure, not having the public all over your campus like it normally is. But talk about when that invitation back to campus really kind of started. Was it the fall semester of this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really ultimately last year, but it was a slow grow back into, our doors open. But really this fall was kind of our kickstart. We had Van Jones come to campus for our presidential lecture series, and a lot of our community members came out to that. So we're excited to see our community members again, coming to see a lot of our well-known speakers and really just become accustomed to Earlham College and the campus as a whole.
Talk a little bit about what you all have coming up, because again, you're inviting people back, you're having speakers come to campus. Yeah. I think you've got a good one in January and February, a couple of nice presentations.
Yeah, we do. So we're really excited about it. On January the 14th, which is a Sunday, we have our joint MLK celebration. Every year for the last 4 years, we've done this. It's via Zoom though, and we're inviting Michelle Alexander, who is a legal scholar and author of the new Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration, Age of Colorblindness. So we're excited to have her do our keynote for MLK. And then a couple weeks later, we're bringing Ta-Nehisi Coates to our campus, which is February the 2nd, to kickstart our Black History Month celebration. So we're really excited about these two speakers coming to our campus to not only impact the student experience, but also impact the local community as well.
Talk real quickly about how people are able to join or get a link to the Zoom.
Yeah, so if you go to our calendar, www.earlham.edu/events, it'll be listed there. For Michelle Alexander, there's a Zoom link. All you'll need to do is click and register for that. And for Ta-Nehisi Coates, it's in person, which we're really excited about, and free admission, no ticket required. So that starts at 7 o'clock on February the 2nd in Goddard Auditorium.
All right, Carpenter Hall, a place that people have been able to enjoy a lot of conversations in the community. Glad that they're able to actually come back and take advantage of that.
Yeah, we're super excited.
All right. Thanks for being here. I know we're going to talk to you again coming up because you all have your spring where you have a lot of concerts coming up and particularly student performances, and we want to talk about that. So thank you very much for being here. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Thank you for watching this month's Access to the Arts on Whitewater Community Television's WETV. We appreciate you spending time with us, and we appreciate definitely our guests and Melinda Wilson with her Artist Spotlight. Thanks for being with us. As always, I wish you well. This episode of Access to the Arts has been made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations in Wayne County to serve you. First Bank Richmond and you, doing great things together.